Hi, and welcome to the first episode of Baked Baking with Shannon. First recipe we're going to be doing is pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. Fun thing, they don't have any eggs. So, the ingredients you're going to need. You're going to need 1/2 cup of unsalted butter, melted but kind of cooled. You're going to need 1/4 cup of brown sugar. You can use light brown sugar or dark brown, it doesn't matter. You're going to need 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. You're going to need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. You're also going to need 6 tablespoons of pumpkin puree. And one thing to do is try and blot out the moisture. I didn't have any success with that, so what I'm trying is a fine mesh screen over a bowl and just kind of letting it hang out in there and just letting the moisture just drain out. We'll see what happens. You also need 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup of salt, baking powder, and baking soda. You're also going to need 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon and 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, and followed by 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. All right. Once you have all your ingredients together, you're going to whisk together your butter, your sugars, your vanilla, your pumpkin, and you're going to mix it all until smooth and just set it aside. Then in a bigger bowl, you're going to whisk together your flour, your salt, your baking soda, your baking powder, your cinnamon, and your pumpkin pie spice. That's all in a big large bowl. And then you'll pour the wet ingredients, your pumpkin puree, the melted butter, and the sugar, brown sugar, and granulated, into the bowl with the dry ingredients. And you mix it up with a spatula or a big wooden spoon. The dough should be pretty soft. Once you get to that point, you'll fold in the chocolate chips. Really important step is you'll need to refrigerate the dough for at least half an hour before you can start baking, okay? So after your half an hour, or at least 3 days has passed, up to 3 days has passed. Don't have it go past 3 days. If you do, you'll want to pop it in the freezer. Anyhow, once you're ready, preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and you'll line the 2 large baking sheets with parchment paper. You'll want 2 because they take a long time to cool on the cookie sheet. So, once your oven's at 350 degrees, you'll scoop the dough into 1.5 tablespoon sized balls. I'll show you when we get to that point, because that's a really weird nebulous thing they always say. And then you'll arrange them about 3 inches apart, and then you can use the bottom of a measuring cup or a glass, or even just your palm with some parchment paper to kind of smush the cookies a little bit, because they are not going to want to spread as readily as a chocolate chip or other type of cookie would. And then you'll bake them for 11 to 12 minutes, and then once they come out, you'll have them sit on the cookie sheet for about 10 minutes before you remove them and put them onto a wire rack. After you get them onto the wire rack and they're cold enough to eat, enjoy! Okay, I almost forgot. Before you start making stuff, make sure to put on a hairnet. I don't have a hairnet, so a hat will do. Come on, hat. Get on my damn head. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and get our sugar into the butter. So you're going to want to use 1/4 cup of brown sugar and 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. It's a big old sugar chunk. It's okay. We'll whisk it all up. Dig! Dig, goddamn you! Okay. Make sure you get yourself a leveling knife. You don't want to like put in too much sugar, because if you put in too much sugar, things will get like hard and shitty. And when I went to scrape it, a giant chunk like took off some of what I need. So we're definitely gonna have to make sure to like whisk the shit out of this. Okay. Let's go ahead and put our sugar away. And then we'll use the, that was a drawer. This is a cabinet. Okay. Let's go ahead and get the brown sugar in. Where did the quarter cup go? That sneaky bastard. Ackerman. Okay. So you need a quarter cup of brown sugar, tightly packed. So what I do is I just put the thing in the bag, and I just press like hell on the sides. Quarter cup. Since I'm doubling, I'm doing a half. Boop. I don't know what I was doing there. Yeah. Let's put our brown sugar away. And then next we're going to need a teaspoon of vanilla. So let's find our vanilla down on the side here. That's rum. Let's see. I think it's the big one. And if you're wondering what we got going on over here, for the pumpkin puree, you want to get as much moisture out as you can. I didn't have any luck patting it out last time. It felt stupid and it didn't really work that great and it was kind of messy. This has just been hanging out for like the last half hour or so while I've been getting prepared. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get the vanilla in. So, one, two nillies. All right. Let's get our pumpkin puree in there. And then we're going to start whisking the shit out of it. Nice. So you're going to want 6 tablespoons of pumpkin puree. Did you know that every 4 tablespoons equals 1/4 cup? So if you're doubling it like I am, and you need 12 tablespoons, that's just 3/4 of a cup. Yeah, definitely going to need a whisk for that. Let's keep our workspace clean. Okay. And now it's nice and smooth. I'll bring it in close for you visual learners. Okay. And with the leftover pumpkin juice, you can give that to the cat. So we'll go ahead and set this off to the side for now. And in a bigger bowl, we're going to add 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. So let's get our other measuring cup out. And let's get our flour. Aha, we left a measuring cup in from the last time. What do we have here? A half cup. Hooray! So 1.5 cups. I'm gonna need 3. So I really need this. So we can also give this to the cat. So go ahead and get one in there. Doesn't say anything about sifting it. If you want to sift it, that's just going to add like more air to your flour, and I don't really care about that right now. The recipe I'm going on doesn't say to sift it, so I'm not sifting it. And that was 2 cups and 3 copies of all-purpose flour. It needs to be all-purpose flour. Bread flour has like higher protein, and it's different. And I don't know shit about gluten-free flour. Y'all are just SOL on this one. If you don't eat eggs, like you're vegan, and you want to use like dark chocolate chips, this one's for you. So we have our flour. We're gonna go ahead and do 1/4 teaspoon of salt, baking powder, and baking soda. Look at our powders and our salt. Salty! Sody! And floof powder. Okay. So let's see, do we have a half? Nope. We just have 1/4 at our disposal. Yee! Stupid foil! Yee! I didn't get everything everywhere. Hooray! Let's throw that in. And 1. 2 floof powder. Again, I'm doubling the recipe. If you're just doing the single, 1 floof powder. And it's 1/4 teaspoon of floof powder. And salt. Yay, we got it open without fucking up our nails. Eee. Salt goes everywhere. So, like, when you're measuring it out, pour it over something that doesn't matter. Don't measure it out over that, because then it's gonna, like, trust me, it'll be really salty and it will suck. And yeah. So, 1 salty. Do-do. Come on, don't go everywhere. Although it's like fighting the tide, it's inevitable. Too salty. Let's pop that back down there. And we got a new baking soda. Ruh-roh. I was struggling with that top. Don't say that too much these days. Every once in a while, though. There's just definitely a top that you struggle with. So, level it off some. 1 baking soda. 2 baking soda. We hide the shame of the box lid that we've mangled. Okay, so the next thing you're going to add is cinnamon and pumpkin pie spice. So let's get them out. We got some cinnamon. What are you? Allspice. Niet. Pumpkin pie spice. There we go. So 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. That's going to be 3 teaspoons. And again, you know, like measure your spices out some. I mean, they don't have to be like super duper fucking perfect, but you know, you don't want it to be like, well, this is a cinnamon cookie. Thank you. I don't taste anything else. So there's one. Let's not fuck it up. 2. 3. Ha ha ha. All right. And then 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. Yee. 1. 2. Ha ha ha. Right. Let's go ahead and get rid of these back on the side here. We don't need them anymore. And want to keep a clean workspace if you can. Do 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 do. Had a little bit of technical difficulty while cleaning the set. Okay, so once you have your dries together, you're going to want to mix them around some. I don't have another whisk, so, you know, we're just spatulaing it. Or silicone spoon, I don't know what you'd call it. It's a thing, it's a utensil. It does a job, and it works. Okay. Let's go ahead and add the pumpkin into the dry. And then we're gonna combine it all together. Do, 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 do. Oh my. I definitely use an extra hand right now. Oh my. Oh my. Don't drop it. We're so close to the end. Ta-da. Alright. And then let's combine. Mixy mix. I think my butter got too cold. Oh no. Hey, welcome back. So it's been about 30 minutes. or in my case, you might have fallen asleep on the couch face first into it, and it might be the next night. Either way, you'll need a good 1 tablespoon thing, because we need to make like 1.5 tablespoon scoop balls, and that's basically just like a good healthy scoop. So yeah, good scoop. Kind of ball it up a little bit, and put it down with some parchment paper, and then rinse and repeat. Stick a chocolate chip on the top of that one. You want to try and space them a couple inches apart. That just helps things bake better. Like, keeps your dough from not getting... What am I trying to goddamn say? Spacing them out well helps keep the edges from like not getting raw, and yeah. Because like heat distribution, I think that's what it does. Either way, just follow the directions. Don't be a maverick. And we ball it. Do-do-do-do-do. That's kind of a big one. Bar a little bit off of that one. And do-do-do-do. Yeah, good enough. It's not rocket science. Although you do want to make sure that they're not like too big. And so the next step, once you have them all on your tray here, you're going to go ahead and give them a little mush with the back of a measuring cup. Eee. And it's going to want to stick to the measuring cup. We'll try next batch putting some parchment paper on the bottom of the measuring cup to see if that helps. But this is working all right. And then to make them look all extra appealing, we're going to put some extra chocolate chips on the top. I'm not gonna do too many, just like 1 or 2. You know, whatever you feel is gonna look best. So there's no real wrong way to make a cookie, unless you like give yourself food poisoning, but there's no eggs in this. So if you give yourself food poisoning, like, that's on you. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and bake these now for, I believe, 10 minutes. Nope, it's 11 to 12 minutes, and then we let them cool on a baking rack on here for 10 minutes before we move to here. Shall we? Alright, I'll see you shortly. Okay, still have the first batch in the oven, but let's go ahead and get our second batch loaded up. I'm trying to be a little more efficient because it has a stupid long cooldown time on the sheet, so yeah. And we're going to try putting some parchment paper on the back of the measuring cup this time. See if that helps. And yes, I was eating chocolate chips. They're delicious. Why would I not? Boop. Boof. and Smalls. Do 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 do. That's how the song goes, right? Jingle balls, Batman Smalls. I do know that Robin laid an egg. It's an ovipositor. What? How did the egg get inside Robin? Alright, let's give this a shot. Hey, that works too. It's definitely easier to put a piece of parchment paper down first. I should have maybe like rolled the cookie doughs a little better on this one, because they definitely have a more, we'll say abstract shape, but that's okay, you know, we can just like shape it as we need to into a better cookie shape. Ta-da! Alright, let's get a couple more chocolate chips on a few of them. Alright, cool. We can go ahead and wait for the first batch to get out of the oven. I'll see you in a bit. Toodles! So, alarm is going off. Let's go get the cookies out. Quiet, you. Okay. And we will let these just hang out there for the next 10 minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and pop these on into the oven for the next 11. I got nothing. So, I'm gonna go set up my canning space, and I will see you in another 10 minutes or so when these fuckers are done cooling off, and I can take them off the tray, show you what we've made, taste the fruits of our labor. See you then. Hi there, I'm back. Second batch is done, so let's get them out. And we can go ahead, try these. And just pop that there to cool. Spatula. Oh, and I put the cookie dough inside of the fridge. Figure keep it refrigerated between bakes. Now, for the moment of truth. Does it suck or is it good? That's good. It's pretty dense, kind of like fudgy, not very cakeish. It's good. Strong pumpkin flavor. The chocolate is nice. Yeah, I might have to go get some milk. Do you like milk with your cookies? I do. Well, that was delicious. Thank you so much for tuning in. I can't wait to see you for the next step. Bye!